He's never been able to control it. He'll be washing his hands at the sink one moment, and the next, he's simply gone, vanished without warning, dropped into some random corner of the past or future. What breaks him down even more is that every single time he travels, his clothes stay behind, meaning the very first thing he has to do after landing anywhere is scramble to find something to cover himself with. More than once, this has gotten him caught red-handed, mistaken for a thief. Henry never struggles when it happens, because he already knows, the next second, he'll be falling into some other unknown point in time.
Jesus Christ.
This uncontrollable ability leaves him constantly exhausted, and clothes are always the most persistent problem. But one thing never changes. Every single person he encounters during these jumps turns out to matter deeply to him. Slowly, he comes to understand that behind all this seemingly chaotic time travel lies a fate meant just for him. On an ordinary afternoon, 36-year-old Henry triggers another jump. This time, he lands in a quiet meadow. In front of him is a little girl playing by herself, and Henry recognizes her instantly. It's his future wife, Claire, though right now she's only 6 years old. Looking at this bright-eyed little girl with pigtails, Henry feels a rush of conflicting emotions. He walks over and starts telling young Claire all sorts of things about the future, even trying to describe what she'll look like when she grows up.
Am I pretty?
Yes, very.
Prove you're from the future.
To prove he's really from the future, he tells her that if she waits here long enough, she'll watch him disappear right before her eyes. Even though they've just met, little Claire feels an inexplicable closeness to this stranger who's appeared out of nowhere and doesn't want him to leave. Right as they shake hands to say goodbye, Henry's body genuinely dissolves into thin air in front of her, a moment that carves itself permanently into young Claire's memory. From that day forward, Henry's jumps seem to gain a fixed destination. He keeps falling back, again and again, uncontrollably, to this same meadow, back to Claire's childhood. Thoughtful as ever, Claire keeps their arrangement in mind, always preparing a clean set of clothes ahead of time, sometimes even bringing along a warm, fragrant chicken drumstick. She sits beside him, sharing her joys and worries, and Henry just listens quietly, his eyes brimming with an affection he can't quite hide.
Are you married?
Yes, I am.
Is your wife a time traveler?
No. No, thank God.
Do you love her?
Yes. Very much.
One time, young Claire, convinced the prince she's been dreaming about is already taken, tears up and looks down, packing up her things, completely missing the tender, comforted smile tugging at Henry's mouth. He can't help but marvel at how adorable his wife was as a child. He can't tell her the whole truth this young. Stepping in too early might derail the life she's meant to have. This companionship across time stretches on for a full 12 years. Then, the year Claire turns 18, Henry jumps to the meadow once more, but this time he's weighed down with something heavy, missing his usual gentle smile. Claire notices immediately that something's wrong, but he doesn't tell her why. Maybe sensing this goodbye will be a long one, Henry suddenly kisses her that day, taking her first kiss. And this particular farewell turns out to stretch on longer than any before. From that day forward, Claire never sees Henry in the meadow again. Then, 2 years later, in an unremarkable library, Claire catches sight of a familiar face she's spent every day longing for. 2 years' worth of pent-up longing breaks free all at once. She rushes toward him, tears welling up in her eyes. But what she never expects is that Henry looks completely blank, responding with polite, distant confusion, saying he has no idea who she is.
I'm sorry. I really have no idea who you are.
Claire quickly composes herself, studying him for a few seconds before it clicks. This Henry looks noticeably younger than the one she remembers. This isn't the time-traveling version of him from the future. This is the 26-year-old Henry, living entirely in the present. For Henry himself, today is, in every real sense, their actual first meeting. Claire invites him to dinner and slowly lays out everything that sounds like it belongs in a fairy tale. She tells him she first met him at age 6, that she's carefully recorded every one of their encounters in a journal, and that the last time she saw the future him was when she turned 18.
The last time that I saw you, I was 18. Seems that you go back to the same places a lot.
Yeah, it's like gravity.
I was a big event.
So it would seem.
Everything the girl describes sounds impossible to Henry, but thinking back to his own uncontrollable ability to travel through time, he ultimately chooses to believe her. Caught up in the moment, Claire instinctively reaches out and touches his cheek, the way you'd touch someone you've loved for years, and tells him, "I've loved you my whole life."
Could we pretend just for a minute that this is the first time we've met?
It's just that It's just that you're my best friend. I've been in love with you all my life.
The words hit Henry hard. Everything feels like it was always meant to happen this way, and the two of them naturally become a couple. As their relationship deepens quickly, Henry, after a long internal struggle, decides to propose to Claire. He knows full well how uncertain his situation is, that he can't promise her a stable future. But the one thing he's absolutely certain of is that he never wants to lose this girl. As Claire looks down at the ring in her hand, childhood memories come flooding back all at once, and it finally clicks for her. The beloved wife Henry always spoke of, all those years ago, had been her all along.
Will you marry me?
Yes. Of course.
Once he's certain of his feelings, the first thing Henry wants to do is share the news with his late mother. He catches a jump back into the past, landing precisely beside her. During their limited time together, he chooses not to reveal who he really is, and instead, like a friendly stranger crossing her path, quietly tells her about the girl he loves.
I met a girl, and since I've been with her, I feel safe. I haven't felt that way for a long time. Not since I was a kid. I wish she could hear you sing.
Maybe she will one day.
I'm really glad I met you.
I'm glad I met you too.
He knows better than anyone that no matter how many times he travels, he can never rewrite the outcome of his mother's death in that car accident. The very event that marked the beginning of his very first jump. As a young child, at the exact moment of impact, he was pulled out of time and dropped onto the roadside, forced to watch the tragedy unfold, powerless to do anything at all.
Make sure that girl knows how you feel about her.
Your son loves you very much.
I know.
Fate has generously granted him countless chances to look back at the people he loves most, yet cruelly stripped him of any power to change history. As the train pulls into the station, all he can do is stand there and watch his mother's figure slowly walk away, disappearing into the depths of time. The wedding day arrives quickly. Claire puts on her white gown, ready to marry the man she's loved her entire life. But right before the ceremony begins, disaster strikes right on cue. The groom, Henry, vanishes again, completely out of his control.
Oh, shit.
Guests start murmuring impatiently. The best man scrambles, at a total loss, forced to stall with one excuse after another. Just as everyone grows increasingly anxious, a figure taps on the window from outside. But this Henry looks noticeably older, streaks of gray already threading through his hair. Rushing to change into his suit, he manages to make it just in time for the ceremony. As he turns to walk toward Claire, her father and the guests look on in bewildered confusion, but Claire, looking at him, breaks into a smile of pure, familiar recognition. For her, no matter which age or point in time Henry comes from, he's always the one she's marrying. The vows go smoothly, but by the time the reception rolls around, right as everyone raises their glasses to celebrate, the seat beside Claire empties out once again. Luckily, when her father invites the newlyweds to dance, the younger Henry makes it back just in time. A wedding thrown into chaos by the groom's unusual condition turns out to be nothing more than an ordinary preview of the long, unpredictable marriage that lies ahead for them. Married life turns out to be far harder than either of them imagined. Henry's jumps grow more and more frequent. One moment they're setting up a cozy candlelit dinner together. The next he's gone without warning, the plate he was holding shattering on the floor, leaving Claire alone to quietly clean up the mess. Moving houses falls entirely on her shoulders. Sitting alone in an empty room becomes routine. Carefully planned surprises go unshared, with no one left to enjoy them alongside her. Technically a marriage between two people, and yet, in the end, it's always Claire carrying the weight of it alone. Claire understands, deep down, that most of Henry's jumps take him back to keep her younger self company, completing this strange loop that fate seems determined to close. But the endless waiting, and the loneliness that settles into her bones, become harder and harder to bear. One time, Henry disappears for 2 full weeks straight, missing both Christmas and New Year's entirely. All the resentment she's been holding back finally erupts, and for the first time, the two of them have a real bitter fight over his time traveling.
Jeremy gave me a space to work in. I mean, this place is too small. I can't work here anymore. And Henry, my life doesn't stop because you're gone.
I never said it did. Can we talk about this?
Talk? I have been here for 2 weeks wanting to talk to you. What do you want to talk about? I mean, how bad it feels to sit here and wait for you? I'm going to work.
Henry stands there, unable to say a word, desperate to do something to make it up to her, to ease the weight she's been carrying alone. Using his ability, he deliberately travels forward into the future and memorizes a set of winning lottery numbers.
You can't do that. It's cheating.
With the $5 million prize, they buy a spacious new house, and life gets noticeably easier for them both. They invite friends over to celebrate the new home, everyone busy preparing food together, when suddenly a loud thud echoes from the next room. Everyone rushes over and freezes in horror. A future version of Henry lies on the floor, covered in wounds. Before anyone can react, this badly injured Henry vanishes into thin air. Everyone in the room stands frozen. Something drops in Claire's stomach. She frantically tries to recall every version of Henry she's ever encountered across every age, and realizes she's never once seen him past 40. A cold, dreadful feeling settles over both of them at once. Henry's life might never make it much further into the future.
We're having a baby.
Strangely, the news brings Henry a flicker of relief. He even secretly lets out a breath, thinking that even if he's fated to die young, at least their child would still be there to keep Claire company. But nobody expects that during a routine prenatal checkup, the doctor discovers the fetus has simply vanished from the womb, without a trace. The two of them rush to consult a genetic specialist, and the answer they get back is almost unbearably cruel. The child most likely inherited Henry's time-traveling gene, and while still in the womb, it triggered an uncontrolled jump through time, causing the miscarriage. And with current medical technology, there's absolutely no way to intervene or treat it. After that, Claire gets pregnant several more times, but each one ends the exact same way. Hope rising, only to be crushed again and again, the constant back and forth wearing her down, body and soul, until she's utterly worn thin. Watching his wife deteriorate day after day tears Henry apart inside. To protect Claire, and to finally put an end to this endless torment, he makes an agonizing decision. He quietly goes to the hospital and gets a vasectomy. This is the very secret he could never bring himself to tell 18-year-old Claire, all those years ago.
I had a vasectomy. I'm not gonna have a child with the same genetic disorder as me who's gonna die. I'm not gonna do it.
Claire, furious and devastated all at once, accuses Henry of barging into her life when she was still just a child, forcibly binding her entire life to his own chaotic, unpredictable fate.
Wait, you think that I wanted this life? This husband that disappears without any kind of warning? Do you think anyone would want that? Who would want that?
You have a choice.
I never had a choice.
The fight drags them both down into utter despair. All Claire has ever wanted is a child of their own, and that last flicker of hope has now been extinguished by Henry's own hand. But fate's script is always full of unexpected twists. Not long after that bitter argument, one night, a younger version of Henry, one who hasn't had the vasectomy yet, travels back to Claire's side. She doesn't tell him about the fight or the surgery that's yet to come, and the two of them share a tender night together. A few months later, Claire is overjoyed to discover she's pregnant again. When she tells Henry what happened, he's momentarily speechless, his feelings a tangle of emotions, though joy outweighs everything else.
We're not gonna fight anymore. We're not even getting excited. I mean, if stress is what's causing the traveling, then we should give this baby the most serene gestation on the planet.
Maybe it's fortune finally smiling on them, but this time, the pregnancy stays stable the whole way through. During this time, Henry once jumps forward to a future zoo, and just as he's found some clothes and is about to leave, an adorable little girl calls out to him.
Daddy!
Startled, Henry turns around and realizes it's the very same girl who once quietly watched them outside the hospital. This is the first time he's ever met his own daughter. Talking with Alba, Henry learns that she has indeed inherited his time-traveling ability, but she's even further along than he ever managed. Through practice, Alba has learned to control, to some degree, both when and where she jumps. Alba chatters excitedly about everyone in the family, but never once mentions her future dad. A weight drops in Henry's chest, and he carefully asks the question he's been most afraid to ask.
How old were you when I died? It's okay.
5.
5.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have told you.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Though it hurts, seeing his daughter grow up healthy and happy still brings Henry a small measure of comfort. He hugs her goodbye, determined to make the most of whatever time he has left. Back home, he tells Claire their daughter's name is Alba, excitedly describing the moment they met, while keeping quiet about the fact that he'll pass away when she's only 5. Not long after, Alba is born, and her arrival fills the household with endless joy and warmth. The days pass, and Alba grows steadily, until, on her 5th birthday, Claire is startled to spot an identical version of Alba standing in the yard. It's Alba from the future, who's traveled back too. That evening, while bathing her daughter, Claire gently probes, asking why she seems so sad today.
You want to tell me what it is? It's okay if you do.
You promise?
I promise.
Daddy's going to die.
Who told you that?
Alba told me.
She did?
She told me that Daddy would die when I was 5 years old.
Claire freezes, holding back tears. She goes to confirm it with Henry. Unable to hide it any longer, Henry finally admits the harsh truth about the future. The shadow of death creeps closer, day by day. One day, Henry accidentally jumps to a bitterly cold, frozen landscape, and by the time he jumps back, both his legs are severely frostbitten. The doctor tells him that even if his legs can be saved, he'll be confined to a wheelchair for months, making his already uncontrollable jumps even more dangerous than before.
Are you dying?
No,
Are you going to have to be in this chair from now on?
only for a little while, honey. Things are happening fast now, honey. I'm traveling a lot. It might be because of what they're giving me for the pain.
Try to stay, Daddy.
How do you do it?
When I feel like I'm going, I sing. I sing to myself.
Let's try that.
Their daughter Alba tries teaching her father her own techniques for controlling the jumps, but nothing works. Henry still keeps vanishing right in front of her without warning. During another jump, Henry finds himself standing outside his own house, years in the future, thick snow blanketing the ground, Christmas fireworks lighting up the distant sky. Fighting through unbearable pain, he walks toward the house, and through the window, he's stunned to see another version of himself, peacefully passing away, surrounded by Claire and their daughter. Witnessing his own death firsthand, strangely brings Henry a sense of calm, and he slowly comes to accept the truth. He will die, eventually. The only comfort he finds is that when it happens, he won't be alone. Knowing his time is running short, Henry quietly begins preparing his family for what's ahead, teaching his daughter practical survival skills like picking locks, and patiently showing his wife how to cook his favorite dishes. Their little family of 3 settles into a life that feels warm and steady, and he can't help wishing time could simply freeze right here, forever. Christmas arrives before they know it, snow falling gently outside as their daughter spins happily through it. Henry knows, deep down, this will be his final Christmas. He invites all their loved ones over, wanting nothing more than to make sure his wife and daughter won't feel too alone once he's gone. He calls his closest friend outside to say goodbye.
Just wanted to say thanks for everything, man. You've been a great friend.
What are you talking about?
Admitting he'll be gone by tonight, his friend, eyes red with tears, pulls him into a tight embrace. But how could such careful concealment ever escape someone as attuned to him as Claire? She's long since sensed something was wrong with her husband, already guessing at the ending that's coming. Tears well up instantly, and she watches, powerless, as the man she loves walks toward death. That crushing helplessness cuts through them both. They hold each other tightly, as if letting go for even a second might let the other dissolve into the wind entirely. But what's meant to happen cannot be avoided. Henry loses control and jumps once more, landing in a silent, snow-covered forest, a deer standing quietly beside him. Suddenly, the deer bolts, startled, and a gunshot rings out an instant later, the bullet tearing straight through Henry's body. The hunter who fired the shot, unbelievably, turns out to be Claire's own father. In his final moments, Henry summons every last bit of strength to jump home one more time, collapsing into Claire's arms.
More than anything.
He repeats their wedding vows over and over, closing his eyes for the last time in his wife's embrace. On the window glass of their room, all that remains is a single handprint, still faintly warm. In the years that follow, Claire and their daughter Alba lean on each other, quietly holding onto the memory of the Henry they lost. 4 years pass in what feels like a blink, and Alba turns 9. One ordinary day, playing on the lawn outside as usual, a familiar figure silently appears beside her.
Daddy?
Alba,
Daddy, I knew I'd see you again. I knew it.
how old are you? When is this?
9.
You're 9? And your mom still leaves clothes?
She says you never know. Run back to the house, you guys. Tell Mommy's here. Tell her to come.
Father and daughter catch up on everything that's happened since they last saw each other, until the person Claire has spent her whole life waiting for comes walking toward her at last. She crosses through the trees, over the same lawn from her childhood, as if crossing an entire river of time itself, running toward the man she's loved since she was a little girl, the one who always seemed to vanish without warning.
Where are you from?
I'm 39. Alba's just a baby. We're in the house. We're happy.
Why didn't you tell me you were coming? I would have been here waiting.
I didn't want you to wait. I don't want you to spend your life waiting.
I love you.
I can't stay.
But for Claire, waiting has always been woven into the fabric of her life. Every reunion felt like opening a mystery box. Sometimes it was the awkward, tender young man from her first love. Sometimes the frail, fading version of him near the end. But as long as it was him, she was willing to wait, no matter how long it took. This love crossed the entire river of time, and yet, in the end, it could never outrun the fate written for it. Perhaps the cruelest thing in this world is already knowing exactly how the story ends, and still, walking that same fixed path toward it, one step at a time. Henry's life may have seemed brief, and yet, in its own way, it feels utterly timeless. For him, never being able to stay by his wife's side constantly was a lifelong ache, but he found another way to weave himself through the fabric of her entire life instead. If the future can't be rewritten, then all that's left is to hold tightly onto the present, to cherish a love this hard-won, loving her with absolutely everything he has. That's the story for today. If there's a movie you'd like to see covered, let me know in the comments, and subscribe for more great content.